City Zoning Board of Appeals, April 22nd, 2024. Call to order. Everyone is present. Going right into agenda item number 1. Oops. And I've already screwed up my tech. So. Yeah, gotcha. Look at that. Eric Hall seeks an area variance for minimum front yard requirements, 239 Main Street. You're here to speak on that. Go ahead to the podium. There should be a sign-in sheet up there for you to sign into. And then just state your name and what it is that you're attempting to get done.
My name is Eric Hall. I'm looking to build an addition on my garage. 14 foot off of the existing garage, same length, 30 feet as the existing garage.
Roy, what do you, information for us on this particular one?
239 Main Street's a corner lot, so it's 2 front yards. So it's a front yard on Main and front yard on Valley View.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be encroaching into the front yard on Main. I mean, excuse me, not Main, Valley View. Also needs approval of floodplain development permit, which I apologize, I did not read. That's since he doesn't got to go to planning, that's in your privy as well.
Okay. Just taking a look and see what we.
Because it's in the floodplain, it's more than 144 square feet. Did he have to do the FEMA floodplain?
Well, the actual work isn't in the floodplain. A portion of his backyard is, but he's still gonna need to meet the construction requirements.
Okay.
And this is, reason for the expansion of the garage?
I want to add another bay. I acquired my father's classic car.
Okay. So it's for personal storage.
Yes, sir.
Do you know the final square footage then of the structure?
14 by 30.
14 by 30.
Spinning down into next to the wall.
Yeah, but I think that's both lots.
Yeah, I have both lots.
Okay, so right around an acre then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What was 14 by 30? 14 by. By what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we have any, you guys have any questions for Mr. Hall on this? I'm looking at some pictures here.
Just confirming that dimension is 13 feet, the closest it gets to the sidewalk. So those dimensions are on there.
Roughly, yeah. I didn't measure exactly, but it's, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like a 3 or a 13, but yeah.
I have a little bit of concern when it comes to water runoff from that roof going over. How much space we have there for water to collect, and then you got the walkway for the students going up the hill. But yeah, 13 feet should be sufficient. Go back to our document for. Okay, so we're So existing non-conforming on the front. So even with this addition, Roy, we're still at, less than 60%.
It's a huge lot.
It's a huge lot, yeah.
It's two though, right?
It is. I
Yeah.
think it's just under 2 acres, both lots together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's showing that one particular lot's still gonna be under 60%. It is a large lot, plus it reaches back into the trees a little bit.
One thing that I'd like us to just think about is, you know, when we have these opportunities is, done it before where we've had the applicant consider merging parcels.
Right,
And that way, that the next owner, you know, decades from now, hopefully, isn't trying to carve off one little small piece of lot and use it for something else. And that way we have one parcel on which we granted variance and then we don't have to worry about somebody, you know, a subsequent owner trying to do something else. That's kind of one of the things but you know, this may not be the applicant time to do that, so it's just one thing that I would like to consider, but are we looking at a larger property? Getting them, because we have a lot of small parcels in the city, and so whenever we can get one that conforms more to what is needed for people today.
Right, I mean, the way that they're divided from Main Street up, the garage is on one parcel and then, to my understanding, the house is on another. And then it butts right up to the high school's property.
right.
Yeah,
In my backyard.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, there is a creek behind your yard, right?
Yes, sir.
I. Survey map I have says it's all one property.
Um,
Tax parcel.
what is the, space between the end of the garage, that is the eve itself, to the sidewalk?
Right now,
No, with this addition,
roughly 13 feet.
13 feet, so
it'll still be 13 feet.
yeah, so we have the,
All right, maybe I'm not looking at this correctly here, but. You build that on, it's not.
Page 26 shows it. Page 26.
All right,
yeah. So you currently from,
right, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
thirty currently, sir, to the sidewalk, so yes, if he goes an additional set, yeah, so he's got 13 feet.
Yeah. I wouldn't be worried that too much about runoff, only because it's a slight slope there anyways. So,
The school district treats all that stuff, because kids walk there all the time. So it seems to me like
If school is out of session, like, Christmas break, stuff like that, I'll plow up to my property line on,
yeah,
Valley View. But most days, the high school has it all
I
done.
kind of thought that.
Yeah.
And then I do from my property line on South Main to the corner.
I don't have any more questions, I think.
No. Can I,
I'll move to close the public hearing.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Somebody got a, one, gonna put with the motion on that?
Run through the questions.
Yeah, we got three. Back. Page three. The refresh rate on this is not the highest.
It just shows the computer guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so we got the questions, I've got it clear here, so. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance. No, I say no. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible to the applicant to pursue other than area variance. No. Whether the requested area variance is substantial. No. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical environmental conditions of the neighborhood or district. No. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the board, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance.
Yes.
That is a yes.
I'll move to grant the, unless we have any other discussion, I'll move to grant the area variance for 239 Main as proposed in the application.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. It's 5-0.
I have something for you to sign.
Thank
Did you
you.
do a floodplain?
Thanks.
What's that?
Oh, thank you guys.
What can we talk about?
66 GT.
Floodplain, no.
You know the rules, right? You're
What plane?
Yeah, for miles to drive.
He's gonna have,
You notice how you.
so that's gonna have to be in the,
Yeah, so just gotta approve the floodplain.
Sounds like a.
we just, Andrew,
If you sign
he has
that.
to get a floodplain permit.
He does have to get the vote.
Yeah. But as far as we're going, it's good, and it's gotta go in front of planning.
But he probably already.
It doesn't go.
No,
No, they already.
No.
So the only, here's what's going on. He only has to go, only has to come here.
Yeah.
It has to go to planning, yes. It has to go to the floodplain, the only, since it's only coming here, you guys can approve the floodplain.
yeah, so,
That's the only.
yeah, that's the only condition, yeah.
Which was the flood fence that we
Yeah,
talked
the
about.
flood fence.
Yep.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Okay,
So I'm all
Is that, does he have to apply for that
They
or
got it here also, just, they gotta just say,
yeah,
vote on that to approve, take a motion to approve?
okay, so, I motion to approve the floodplain permit.
Second.
Tom seconds. All those in favor?
Right?
Aye. Opposed? Abstained?
There you go.
Thank you. That's easy.
no, what's up?
So you come down.
It's gonna come, give me a couple days to get this stuff.
Okay,
Who made the motion?
Okay.
Second.
thank you. Have a good evening.
Me and Don. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 2, area variance 87 Main Street. Evan Souza seeks an area variance for building height requirements. Anybody here to speak on that? No,
So I'll,
okay.
they changed the use of the old copy, Portland copies store.
Okay,
Because of that, they needed to change the use. They've actually expanded the use into, offices on the first floor and, a single unit on the second floor.
okay,
So change the use, you gotta bring the property in the compliance. The only issue with that property that you guys have to deal with is the minimum building.
okay,
That it doesn't meet the minimum building height because way before any of us were even breathing, the top of that building unfortunately burned.
right. And
What is the minimum?
Yeah,
22 feet.
Nice, very.
So, and this would preclude them from building, from adding on to it. It's-
No, it's just, they could add on to it, sure.
Yeah.
Just go up to the maximum building height.
Yeah.
They just don't currently meet the minimum requirements. Everything else except for that is SPR and they have to go to site plan anyway.
right.
Just looking through, do you know the height up your head?
I think he told, isn't it in there?
I thought it's
Look at
14, yeah, but
It's in there.
yeah, I thought I saw it just now.
They told me, and I thought I put it in there.
Short. 19?
It just says under.
Well, that's the.
He actually did measure it. He told me, all he did is tell me it's not 22.
Right, it's showing us less than 22.
That's what it shows. That's the only information I had. I'm sorry.
Just taking.
Well, you gotta figure if it's
It looks like it's.
roughly, it's gotta be at least 16, right?
Right,
Yeah, I thought.
Well, the minimum ceiling height is 7 foot, if you take 1 story in. Minimum ceiling height, 2 stories would be 14, 1 story would be 7.
Yeah, so I'm looking, it looks like it's 16, 17. Okay, well, it's existing building's been in use, he gutted the building, refinished.
Yeah, I would say it's existing, so it's.
Buildings fully sprinkled now, you know, by ones.
So you approved all of the internals.
Yes.
Yeah. Occupancy, mixed use office space. Single unit residential on second. Of course, that's all to be approved. Now this one gets through us and then does this one have to move on?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yes.
yes, good.
We just have to give it a variance for height. Oh. Any other public discussion on? Yeah, okay, do I want a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It looks like he's got everything in order.
I don't know if it mattered if we bought it. You know,
No, I don't think so.
so I don't know the meeting.
And like you said, I don't think it precludes him from ever, if they wanted to go higher, going higher, which time they would have to do this again at that time.
Just a building initiator.
You can't expand the use of the building,
It's well.
because it's not conforming right now.
Right.
There.
without an area variance,
Yeah.
right? And, what was going on upstairs from the carbon copies of
It was, they just use it for
storage, right?
Yeah.
Storage, that's what I thought. We don't want to put forth, let's first, let's do questions on this one. I got it. The one. Page of issue with technology, let's get back to page 1. And waiting for it to refresh. There we go. Okay. Okay, here we go, on the questions. Bonds must be considered by zoning board of appeals to determine whether the variance in weighing the granting or denial of the area variance request. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to the nearby properties will be created by granting of the area variance. Say no.
No.
Whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance. No. Whether the requested area variance is substantial. I'd say no.
Then it seems close enough, yeah.
Yeah. And whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical environment, conditions of the district or neighborhood. No.
No.
Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the board, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance. I'd say,
He bought it. No, I did it. For sure.
yeah, at least know that it was,
Yes, on the last.
yes, on the last, I believe,
Yeah, that's
my opinion. Okay. Unless there's other discussion with him. We can, well, I'll motion to approve as written pending the, planning board approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Thanks.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay. So that's that. Agenda item 3, Logan Williams seeks an area variance for lot size and front yard parking requirement. variance. This is for 3 Joseph. Is that what it's?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure my thing is taking me to the correct page, zooms forward. Is anyone here to speak on agenda item 3? Okay, if you could sign in up there, state your name and tell us what's going on.
I'm Doreen Petticat, I'm the owner of the property, trying to go from a single wide driveway to a double wide driveway, so my son can stop parking his truck in my lawn.
Okay,
I'm the only house on the street that doesn't have a double wide driveway. That picture's on my phone, if anybody cares to see them.
single existing driveway. Do I have a map on here?
Yeah, it's page 10, sketch is 107,
Yeah, and a lot of the photos are on 123 and 24.
another sketch.
How do you guys see the page?
Oh, a little bit there.
Whatever we,
111 is sketch.
So the big thing we're going for is the 10,000 square foot to.
well, that's, yeah,
And it's 9,600.
it's all existing, pre-existing.
So everything else, though, it's. Yes.
What about curb cut?
Yeah, that's pretty.
County said they gotta have a curb cut.
Yes. Um,
The area where she wants to put it, there's really no entrance anyways, right there. So,
Oh,
yeah, see right there.
At 155 too. Right here parking.
Yeah, so she's gonna be in uniform to pretty much everybody else on the street.
Board number.
Yeah. Page 123.
Gotcha.
23, 4.
Think that'll stop him from parking his truck on the grass?
It better. He's also going to college in the fall, so.
Oh, there you go.
Still gonna be an open
I
question
could,
for you
I
in a
could
couple
move
of
my
years.
oldest out of the house, this wouldn't be an issue, but right now, it's a problem.
Okay. I don't either. Can I get
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Okay, yeah. I think,
We had anybody?
do we have anybody else to speak? This is very close.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but there isn't anybody.
there's nobody. So what we need on this is, somebody do a motion that's gonna have a curb cut. We did.
You gotta do the questions.
Yeah, but, we gotta do our discussion before questions.
Yeah.
Do they need to approve curb cut?
County.
It was in the, they need to do it as a condition.
Pending condition, yeah.
Yep.
But we can, just as long as we understand that it has to be done, I can go back to my questions once I am having some issues with moving through these documents quickly. You can't, they don't refresh fast. Yeah, this I can just rip it through, but we're using that as a placeholder. Okay, so we know that that condition is gonna come one way or the other. I'm gonna go through the questions. Whether an undesirable change would be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the variance. You know, whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance. No. Whether the requested area variance is substantial. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. No. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration should be relevant to the decision of the board, shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance. Maybe yes.
Yes.
I make a motion to approve the variance with the condition of the curb cut. That's required.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained. Okay. You are all set, and you should have some data for you up here.
Should have put the condition in there, I wanted here in 2 years, it would stop them. Great.
Tradition that my children will move out. Yeah, we can all dream on that, right?
You
I think
never,
it's 18 years, it's really 30.
I have one that's 29, studying her doctorate still.
Okay, but at least she's studying for her doctorate, so that's good.
I had one of those
Still
out.
parks on the grassland.
Mine has moved out multiple times, and he just cycles back in.
I just moved out, moved back in before 19.
Sorry, it's got, yeah, another one.
The college change.
So do I need to do anything extra for the curb cut, or am I good to tell my guy to get working?
As soon as I get this done on this, I'll issue the permit to start working, just have to make sure that the doing large that curb cut, the clean was right.
Okay,
With the driveway.
yeah, that's what he'll want to do.
Or you'll end up with a mad mud.
Thanks, I'll need it moving once the weather's nice.
Okay.
Sorry.
Actually,
God. I'm at the right starting page. Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, this
One
one.
for you, one for me. Easy, you know that, right?
Yeah.
that's good.
Hey,
Thank you.
been trying to do that for years now. Yeah, good.
Okay. Then item number 4, area variance 13 Court Street. Grace Episcopal Church seeks an area variance, maximum square feet and front yard requirements. Is anybody here to speak for them? Okay.
I can,
Yes, Roy.
so
What's
it's,
going on?
He's a neighbor.
I'm trying to be quiet, maximum building square footage, these are a couple odd ones that you're gonna have some odd ones.
Mm-hmm.
So in a central business, the maximum square footage of a building can be 5,000 square feet. The square footage of the church is 97 roughly square feet. The central business district, maximum front yard is 5 foot, this one has a 28.1, 28.2 front yard.
Now, none of that changed after the fire, right? Still the same size
Yeah,
before the fire and
I
after
think it
the
was
fire?
inside the building.
Yeah, okay.
I would like to point out as a condition, you guys should note. The county, this did go to the county, and if you look at the county's recommendation.
What page is that, Roy?
On 13/4.
Is that one of the ones we took today?
Page 151.
Okay, so the ones you gave me today.
Zooming forward. They're all blank while I zoom.
So as a condition, if you look at 300-105 mechanical equipment.
Yep.
You guys gotta make, I mean, cause that is a 300, I'll reiterate it during site plan review procedure, but because that 300-105 is a zoning thing,
Mm-hmm.
I would make sure as a condition you put that needs to be screened.
Yeah, it needs to be screened and shall be architecturally compatible with the style, and materials, colors of the building.
What has to construct of the screen? It doesn't really say, it's gotta be of like materials as the building itself.
Could it be a panel? Fence panel?
Definitely a fence.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, cause it doesn't really specify.
It doesn't specify anything about noise cancellation or anything about that, noise block or anything of that
Just
sort.
does it have to be.
Well,
has to be screened.
I'm assuming it's like a dumpster, which is a
It's right next,
Yeah, just.
6-foot privacy
yeah, and that's right next to the fire department anyway, so.
Right,
on the other side, actually.
Yeah. But I'm talking about for noise.
right.
Noise is relative, that location.
Those generators actually are pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was just dealing with the same exact item a couple days ago in planning for school. So that's really the only condition is that make sure it's conforming with 300.5. And we can actually just point that right out as an item, so we don't have to just look it out.
Where exactly do they want to put it? That's my other question.
It's about 5 feet from the front of the building on the right-hand side looking at it.
All right, so 5 feet in front of the building, right-hand side. So would there have to be any protection around it from vehicles?
The fence will be fine.
Are they, we're talking over on that side near the, is it gonna be on the side or in the front?
green.
Okay, so it's gonna be next to the air conditioning compressor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be easier for them to just screen in both items at the same
And no
time.
requirements for any metal post or anything to protect them from vehicles in it?
That's,
So,
that's good, that's a good question.
Yeah, having a barrier.
This was another one of those, oh, look what you're doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
They were required to do it for New York State. Cause that's where the warming, that's where one of the warming centers is. So to be declared as a code blue warming center, they had to have another, they've got one in the back already,
mhm.
they needed an extra.
Now, this is gonna be natural gas or diesel generated. I mean,
It should be in here.
well, you can't use fuel-based here, right? So it's definitely gonna be natural gas then.
which,
Yeah, maybe natural.
So that's why I say about a barrier.
parking barrier for natural gas.
I would say a parking post or a barrier to protect it.
Right.
There might be some already on
That was a
the
bit
side of the
round.
parking lot.
Yeah, there's something there.
There's a
Railing, but
Yeah,
but it's,
Are they just-
railing's a little lean.
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah.
sideways.
I would, yeah.
What's the official term for one of those, right?
Oh,
There's nobody Google that.
I can give you the term, I always do when I hit it near Dunkin' Donuts, but I wanted to say that here.
Baller.
Baller?
Baller?
Something like that.
Okay, well, we all have a common idea then. That's my biggest thing is if it's gonna have, we're gonna have natural gas coming up out of the ground over there, we're gonna have something to block it.
Yeah.
because
That's the only thing I would say.
That's your, you got all that parking right there, that's gonna be for NBT.
Yeah, there's definitely code requirements for it.
Yeah.
It's like, I say.
Yeah, they're night service. So, yeah.
Right, so most likely more report.
I'll worry about the close stuff.
Right.
Okay,
Like,
thank you.
That's what, I mean, the whole like ballot thing will be in the code, so.
Here's your photo.
So the,
If there's gas lines, for sure.
I don't think we need to specify it.
That bar's not gonna do. Yeah, because there's really nothing there.
Yeah, but when the natural gas service comes in there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I still.
There's
would like
a
to
60
see-
kilowatt generator, I'm sure it's natural gas. Yeah, it would have to be, right?
Right, it's small compared to the diesels they're doing now, unless you're pulling huge amounts to require diesels now. Everybody's putting natural gas.
I still would like to have that. It's
Right, so if, let's go, make a motion, to close public hearing.
second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, that's fine. So Ray, if you wanna put forth a motion on this, then we can. put it-
Yeah, I make a motion to approve with the stipulation of course, having the screened area as required under the code, and as well as a metal embedded parking barrier, what's the term? Ballard. Ballard, put in for the protection of the area, just in case, because the parking lot's right there.
When he says code, put 300.
300-105.
Yeah, 300-105, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Thank you, guys.
Right, so, with the condition that, run that back again, please.
That ballards are put up in the front to protect it from vehicle strikes.
And it conforms with code 300-105.
That should put out to. Back from vehicles.
Vehicle impact reduction.
Yep.
Look at you.
One thing, that's the code Yeah, oh, Ballard.
Oh, it's David Post.
I managed to make all my pages tiny. Look at that.
Damn it.
Oh, good.
All right, so the Ballards and what else?
I need to conform with, code 300-1.
300-105 screened areas. Whatever we think of fence or something.
You a second on that yet?
Okay.
Okay. Councilman.
It's done. All right, all set.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Do the test.
Oh,
No.
we didn't do the test on that one, did we? Hold on. That one. Okay, same test. Whether an undesirable change would be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties would be created by granting an area variance. Yeah, whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance. No. Whether the requested area variance is substantial. Well, it's way out of conformity, but it's existing.
So I would say that
I'd say that it was not. That's real. Okay. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. No. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration should be relevant to the decision, the board shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the variance. The state is requiring that they get it, so that's a no, I think. Everybody agrees? Now, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain. Okay, that's number 4. Agenda item number 5. How are we doing over there, Andrew? Good. Item number 5, 8385 Groton Ave. Manuel Pothos seeks an area variance for building height and buffer requirements, and I recognize this gentleman.
How are you?
If you could sign in for me, sir.
I will. I'm Fran Casulo. I'm an attorney here and I represent Emmanuel. I guess he's running late. You want me to go for a few minutes? Roy?
Sure.
I mean, I can pretty much.
Let me say a couple things. And then, first of all, this project is done. It's been done for at least 2, if not 3 years. It's done. And let me say this, Roy and his administration's been great. Once he got hold of me, he realized what's going on. But at least 2, if not 3 years ago, Mr. Pathos came here with me and we went over this matter with a former code enforcement officer. We applied for everything that he asked us to apply for. We came before the zoning board of appeals, presented the application, and were approved for everything we were told that we needed to apply for. Just because I want to make this clear to this board, this present composition of this board, this is not an instance of Mr. Pathos doing this without getting the approvals that he thought that he needed. He did. I think Roy will attest to that. This is also not an issue of Mr. Pathos going beyond what he was approved to do. And I think Roy will attest to that. What apparently has happened is when Roy took over, it was realized that an area variance, or I guess an expansion, non-conforming use, Roy, that fair statement, was needed. Years after the fact, and we're here, we were asked to come here, and we're obviously going to apply for it. And that's why we're here, or I'm here. I don't know exactly where my client is right now, but he's on his way. The only thing I will tell you, I'm sort of glad he's not here, is but for this variance application, it is holding up a very significant bank transaction that we couldn't complete until we find yay or nay on this matter. It has put everything at a standstill as far as this bank transaction goes.
Mhm.
So that's what we're here for. I'm here to try to answer any questions.
So if I might add, to say what he said, this was an error by the city. It was an oversight, should never have happened. I apologize on behalf of this city crew and Mr. Conthos and Mr. Casulo.
No apology needed.
Oh, it's a formal thing to do.
No, I know, but it's not needed. It happened. There's nothing we can do now.
So this was missed on the initial thing, and this was actually brought to our attention through a complaint by another property owner. So we're going back and making it right.
Well, this one, Roy, if I may speak to this, Tom and I were both on board at this time. We spent a lot of time on this, Fran. We went through and came with some really good plans to this so that we didn't lose green space across the street. There was a lot of steps we took in order to get this done at that particular time. They were actually wonderful to work with. They had actually gone through some extra steps that actually hadn't needed to be done up to that point. We had some extra steps.
And this is just something that, I mean, it would have went through and you guys went through, but it was an
Yeah.
oversight, that's all, and then as soon as you take care of this, I'm gonna issue their certificate of occupancy so you can get his financing.
I'm curious to see the downstairs stuff.
I'm sure if you talk with Mr. Papos, he'll let you in.
Yes, because I know that they would take.
I haven't seen it. I tried to forget about it, tell you the truth, but
remember when.
I'm sure he'll let you in.
It's a new apartment.
Yeah, we said, yeah, that was what, when we were talking about it was going in, but the pictures we had back then when Fran was in front of us before were a pretty well wrecked out.
Yep.
Former bar with a
Absolutely.
kitchen that was quite a bit of a mess, so.
Yep.
So I'm just confused again, why is it being brought up here? I was feeling like who kind of caught, what went wrong?
So a complaint was brought up 2 years ago by another property owner about the height of the building. And
Preferably the dormer in the backside, right?
yeah, well, there's 4 dormers actually.
Right.
And it was about the dormers. So, I looked into it, I was having it on about it, and then I actually looked into it some more and I found out that you got a business district up against an R1, so the 10-foot buffer is not there either.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna make it right. I mean, I didn't even charge him for the application because it's our fault.
Well,
We're
the
willing to pay.
No.
well, the 10-foot buffer, I mean, the building's always been there, so they're 10-foot
Right.
buffers, I mean, that they couldn't control anyways.
I understand that, but still, any expansion on a non-conforming use.
Yeah.
Has to go through these
Right, has to.
processes.
Yeah. There's no physical expansion to the property. going on.
Nobody did anything wrong here except it was an oversight.
Right.
And it probably would have went under the radar for years until this particular property owner made the complaint.
And we put a lot of work into it, a lot of ideas,
Yeah,
so,
there was a lot of.
So
A lot of time.
So to
Parking.
yeah.
alleviate the complaint, this is what we're in.
Okay, where's parking, by the way, just curious. It's not that it makes me.
They have parking across the street, but we waive the minimum amounts because the building is so existing.
And I remember coming back, yeah, we had to agree to have additional parking across the street.
Right, and then they have, the majority of their tenants are walkers, so they're almost living on campus. So part of their rental agreement says that there is no parking. So-
They don't currently have a CO.
What's that?
They
Yeah,
don't.
that's the definition. Yeah, I want to stress, this is nothing they did wrong.
Right.
This is to
It's just
facilitate.
to facilitate correcting the problem that was caused by a former employee.
Yes,
And just so you know, to answer your question, technically, we had a CO.
They have a seal.
And he's going through a rather significant bank refinancing, not just on this property. And my client wasn't thrilled with me when I told him this, is I think in the interest of fairness, not only to the city, but to the bank, that we had to tell the bank what was going on and that this stopped everything because I didn't want to go to the bank, telling the bank, we have a CO when I knew there was an issue. That wouldn't have been right. And I told them, I'm not gonna do that and that we have to come here, see what happens. And if we get the variance, then we can go back. But we did not try to go to the bank and say, we got a CO and no, we weren't gonna do that.
Yeah, I was just,
No, that's exactly,
what was holding.
that's right, but that's what was going on, but I told them we're not gonna tell the bank that we had a CO when I knew this was an issue.
They applied for a CZO.
Yeah. And it also causes problems with the insurance.
We
Don't wanna do that.
Everyone talked about it, and this is the best, solution, you know?
Yep.
Just to get it fixed now.
That's it. So we didn't have to.
We've already done all the stipulations, everything from the previous is going to,
That's what I thought.
is gonna hold.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I should be speaking into the
Do
microphone.
you still have to do the 5 questions?
My
We still,
question,
we still, I think. we
Yeah,
still
you're gonna have to, because we need the area variance.
yeah, just for, my question
Sure.
was, that I was discussing amongst the board here was that did we need to re-stipulate the building height specifically and the buffer distance specifically? I think that we're agreed that we don't need to do that.
We don't need to.
Well, all this should have been on the original one.
Yeah, it should have been on the original.
That's why, that's
Yeah.
why.
This is just.
So the original one,
Adding on.
the original one's already passed, this is just going on to that, so is,
Well, we didn't get it done.
Yeah. okay, so, motion to close the public hearing. Motion. Okay.
Second,
Okay, we got whichever one you heard first. All those in favor? Aye. Okay,
Who made our motions?
I made the
Ray, I guess,
I second.
yeah. Kyle was just a little late, he's not quick on this. Okay. And those are the questions. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties be created by granting a variance. No. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance, no. Whether the request variance is substantial, that is a yes, we determined that last time, but that's okay. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical environmental conditions of the neighborhood or district, no. This is an improvement to that corner, we've gone over this.
It's not even the height of the neighboring properties.
Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the board, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance. That is I believe that is a yes. Or actually, anybody want to put motion or heck, I'm gonna, put forth a motion to approve as written. Can I get a second?
I have a second.
Teddy's got a second on it. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain. That's 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta fix that other one.
Take your time.
Thanks for doing it right, Fran.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Fran, I'll have you sign this, yeah.
Want to say something?
I apologize about that, Fran.
Roy, no apologies necessary. You got part of your time. Don't worry about it. You want to sign right there? Yep.
That's one of the ones I don't forget. Comes a lot of work.
Sign again. I keep one.
Yeah, you keep that one.
That, also, have a good night. Thank you. Thank you.
And there was a lot of conditions to it because it's such a strange place. Like your option is to either dig up all the crap or
That's the issue though, that there's, you gotta go through so many hoops.
The only thing I didn't like is right near the sidewalk is the drains popping out of the sidewalk.
Yeah. And that was, and then the other, there's a couple of things to consider in that corner with the visibilities and stuff like that. Unless you tear the building down and start over, you're not gonna do anything. But, okay, we shall move on. Okay, we're going to agenda item number 6, 95 Homer Ave. I've got to get back to my page. Oh my God, I have zombie fingers. There it is. Remind me. Agenda item number 6, at the core seeks a bulk area variance. Roy, you're gonna have to educate me a little bit on what that even means.
Well, first and foremost, bulk area variances, there's a whole bunch of variances.
Okay,
First and foremost, this is a non-conforming use in an R1 district.
okay,
However, he's putting in a new means of egress off the second floor, off the back of the building. So it's not really a use variance, you know what I'm saying?
right,
So you have to, based on the research I've done and talking to the corporation council, you guys have to, because they're adding on to a non-conforming use. You guys just have to approve it as like an area variance, because it's not, it isn't a use variance, that's all I'm saying.
right, it's,
Is this the former picture frame?
No. So that's the first one, you gotta approve then the adding on to a non-conforming use, okay? The second is the lot's not big enough, the third is the lot width isn't right, and then the minimum front yard is not correct either, so. So bulk variance is that, right there.
okay, so, yeah, I'm looking at,
Is this in the flood zone?
Yep. So you guys don't gotta worry about it, because that's goes site plan. The only time you guys will hear floodplain, anything, is if it's just an area variance, doesn't gotta go site plan. So this has to go site plan too.
this is gonna be, is this a second story landing?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the use of the building now?
The R2 and R1.
So it's apartments.
So it's still gonna be just two apartments?
And like I said, it's still a non-conforming use. You're really not supposed to add on to it at all,
Right.
but they're putting on a new set of stairs and a second means of egress. I couldn't see that. I couldn't see. It's not like they're adding on
Oh, I see.
to the building. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know why I said picture frame. This is the old court booking building, or right next door to it.
This is 95 Homer Ave is, been an apartment building as long as I can remember.
Oh, wait, so why is this?
Just stuff in the back.
Let me ask you a question.
There's a different photo on there, that's why I said that.
When you talk about egress, do you mean egress,
Yeah.
meaning in and out? So
Yeah.
it's not just a get out as it would be for a fire.
No,
This is
get in
something,
and out, second means the second. Right now you both,
I'm gonna get
the
used
top
to
one
this.
just comes out the front.
Right.
both
that's what I'm saying.
apartments come out the front, okay.
Well, the
Top of stairs.
first floor comes out the back end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gonna get used to this.
okay.
so. We don't need to be stopping second, egress from second.
I was on
floors.
the wrong page, I'm gonna get used to these pads.
Yeah, no.
He does say
I'm on
the current use of property will not change.
right,
Roughly 30 to 40 square foot of extra lot coverage will be used.
that's for the landing and the stairs.
See, this is. Oh, here, we got the flashlight. Oh.
The drawing, what page of the drawing, you know?
I have 207 as the air photo. And then the sketch is 206.
There's no drawing of the stairs.
Nothing.
Of the stairs.
No, there's no stairs, but you can see,
It's not really changing, I mean, so the lot coverage is a problem, but he's putting it right on top of the blacktops.
right, I was gonna say, because what,
Demoed an old building in the back, and so he's got.
I see this there.
so it's gonna be like. The little white spot is here on here, this photo here, that gives a second egress for fire or anything else too. Nobody's here to speak on that, I see. So,
So that's what they're from. That's.
I motion to, close public hearing.
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Can I get a second? Anyone? I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye. You said it.
No, I asked for one.
This one to the county, it's just not in with your packs, so we just got it back today. They got those?
You said that, you said all. You said that. You guys look at third.
Yeah, we got the third on it.
No, that's the only one that got it.
I don't see any reason myself. Yeah,
But it's not, but that's the.
adding a second door to it, yeah, it really needs to have two. Seems old. It's still good, it's like- Right, it's just gonna look built, like you said. Let me see. Here, go back. Go back too far. These things to.
Yeah, oh, there it is. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Look upside down.
Okay. This has to go site plan again, right?
Yep.
Okay. We know what page my questions are on, things are just not, they are not updated.
It's 209. It's Kravzinski. That is.
Is it core?
Yeah.
Mark's good.
Okay.
Actually, oh, there it is, okay.
Am I confusing him with Kravzinski?
Yes.
Yes.
Jeff Rudinsky is no longer
Yes,
a player.
that's what I heard.
Okay, here's questions, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance. No. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than area variance. No. Whether the requested area variance is substantial. Not comparison to what it is right now. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. No. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the board, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance.
It wasn't downtown, so. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they all,
okay,
he answers now, but,
yeah, I'm gonna have to say yes, because he doesn't have to, but. I think he should, but I don't think he has to. Do we need to take multiple votes on this, Roy, because we're doing a bunch? Or is this, what do I have to?
You gotta pass the
same.
area variance for lot coverage. Well, first of all, you gotta, I don't even know what you would call it. You just gotta say it's okay to expand on the non-conforming use.
Right, so we have,
That's the bulk area.
Yeah,
That's.
and specifically say the addition of an egress stairway.
Yeah, yep.
And then you gotta, that's variance one. Then there's lot coverage, lot size, lot width, and minimum front yard.
so. We have to just put all of those into the motion. They're all out here, we've got them all written out by section, so. You can do the motion, just call out the sections. Does anybody want to come up with that fine motion?
So we've got area variances for, lot size.
We've got,
Lot coverage,
right,
Area variances, yeah, got it.
we've got 300, 150, 125, 23, 24, and 132. The non-conforming use is in the 125 is where we're gonna have to put this, you know, the, adding an egress to the existing non-conforming use that would be in the 300-125. Does that sound about right, Roy? Okay. Anybody have wording for that?
Can we just say the whole just as? That's like,
Well, with it being a multi-part, maybe we should, I mean, I can do the motion on it.
So if you look, the best way to word it is right here on the county thing.
On the county thing, where would I go?
yeah, I think that's what he's referring to this right there.
Okay,
You're looking at.
that's what I thought. The county planning departments, yeah, so it's right here.
So you'd wanna say 300, 125, extension of non-conforming use.
Yep.
That's the first thing.
That's the one, yeah.
323, table 314, A, B, C, and D.
What, and the 300, 150, which is the top one, are we?
That just covers
It encompasses the four below, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if I put forth a motion to approve 300-125 extension non-conforming use and with the addition of a second egress, 300-23, 300-24, 300-132 as written. As applied.
As written.
As written in the application. Or we can change wording to that as written out by the county planning department.
So if you want to make the motion as submitted, I will in the minutes reflect the details of what you're looking at there.
Yeah, yes, the details under the planning department, that would be on page 197, Andrew's page 197 on our document. Okay, we just have to make sure that we put that second egress on the 300-125 portion, so they know.
All right, what's that?
On 300-125 extension non-conforming use, addition of second egress as well. We just want to make sure that that's written out. The rest of it is all right there on that page. Can I get a second?
Addition of one second egress?
Yeah. I can second. So. Okay. This time on the second. All those in favor? Opposed? Staying 5-0. Mr. Jewett.
Got it.
Okay, moving on to item number 7. Is 30 Tompkins, Paradigm Properties, seeks an area variance for maximum parking and side yard setback.
So the wife sold the building?
Yes, the wife sold the building, Paradigm bought it, they're in the process of doing some MO over there right now, they're gonna change it to a 2-family.
Mhm.
11, 5 up, 6 down, or vice versa,
Wait, how many?
11.
So the 3 unrelated doesn't count here?
3 related doesn't count until it's filled, it's a rental property. Doesn't even matter, it's not going to matter.
Paul Lorenzo over it.
Right now, to answer your question, it's a rental property.
Yeah.
That's, so. I mean, despite this question came up in the county meeting too, doesn't matter until they fill it with.
The 3 unrelated, then there comes a question.
Okay, I think it's 220.
So how about parking? Would the 11?
Maximum parking is on it, yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta give them a variance,
So the-
maximum parking.
What, table 314, maximum parking and action requiring site plan.
And,
So my question is what are they gonna do in the back? Are they going to non-permeable surface?
oh, it's good, well, that's planning, not you guys.
Right.
They're gonna make it, I mean, you guys can say it too if you want to, yeah, they're gonna pave it. There's a
Is the,
small portion that's paved, but they're gonna pay the whole thing, they understand it.
This guy I'm very familiar with, is it, somebody lived in the barn too.
Where?
Somebody lived in the barn.
I know they're not, that's not planned yet.
That's not yet.
Okay, so that's not on this plan at all.
What, the barn?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why the area range for the side yard setback, because it's like one foot off the property.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I meant for putting apartments in there.
Not at this point.
What about, the 4 feet setback from there to the Y? Because that's,
It's right there.
obviously you're gonna have college kids right there, right? And right next to that is, of course, the daycare.
Right now, there's a 4 foot district.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a playground up front.
Yeah, right, like right there.
And the other side is Tony, correct?
It says home, and it was, for the Y acquired, it was Paul Lorenzo's county business.
Right.
And he also lived there.
Okay.
So,
Messed up floor plans and said that.
yeah, it's. I had always hoped as well,
But then
it's higher some folks on that. Give him or her a home there, live in, so get that one person business there. And then.
Maybe you were speaking there because it was.
No historical issues being 1859.
They already went. Got passed.
Very good.
I'm looking through my bylaws here a second. So what is their existing parking and what's required?
They've got a ton of parking. What's required is 4.4.
Yeah, 4.4.
So what's required and what, and so what is the,
So planning's gonna have to,
So it's 1.5 spots per dwelling.
Page 246 gives a good outlay of it.
so what are the numbers again? What do they have and what's needed?
I think 11, you said, right?
They want to love.
They want 11, gotcha, and only 4.4 is allowed.
Not bad.
11.
The big residential, 1.5 per.
Almost entire lot is 9.
No, so for a 2-family, it's 2.
2 or 4 per.
They're allowed 4, they want 11.
On 11.
And that lot is plenty big.
Do they want 11 because the existing lot parking is already that big?
You can put 2 and 2 together, but you can't turn them down based on. You can turn them down based on square footage, you cannot turn them down based on the fact that they want 11 parking spots. Because we all know how it's gonna be used.
That helps, that's what I'm asking.
It's gonna be, they're gonna repurchase.
I mean, you all know how it's gonna be used. But until it's actually used like that, we cannot. It's right,
Let's say how,
it's a rental property.
yeah, it's student rentals, and they're a student rental business, they own a house up on the.
Yeah.
On the backside, and, presumably there's enough parking on that house that fronts on Hill Street. But on a weekend like last weekend or the next one, when all the pals come, then there's cars parked all over the place, and this is something that I think is, I don't know if there's some way we can fit in there what I don't wanna see here with kids around and a playground and everything else is the stacking of cars right out to the sidewalk.
I can tell you this. That's not your privilege.
Yeah,
That's site plans, privilege.
yeah.
Site plan's gonna tell them they can't park.
Yeah.
In that road.
Yeah, in the driveway,
Yeah.
the access driveway.
What are they
And I
gonna
can also tell you that it's happening right now across the street of 21
Yes, it
and
is.
23.
Yes, it is.
And
What are they?
all I can do is tell you, I gotta get caught up on stuff, and that's on my agenda for this summer. Everyone's getting letters that parking in the yard, parking. If
Yeah,
you're parking against your site plan, you're getting a letter and you're coming back.
Yeah, what are they doing about the separation of the property between them and Toma?
Oh, that's besides the garage, there's,
They've got the vegetative strip.
There is a
Yeah,
small
they're-
strip there.
Where?
Well, it looks like
It's there.
it looks like it turns to nothing.
It goes right
at
up
some
some
point.
white yellow.
It's there, they're only halfway, it's not all the way
You
back.
can definitely see it when you drive up and down because
Yeah.
I'm there almost every day. So,
So you're saying you don't wanna see it paved over right with Mount Toma and have one big area?
Yeah, because then some of it rolls over into Toma and we can.
no, I park.
well, it's not gonna go over the top.
Well-
I gotta imagine, so they just put up a fence, if you're going to put up a fence, or put up a fence.
Yeah.
I could just see Bernie coming.
It's been.
But again, that's a site plan thing.
Yep, yeah, exactly, I agree,
Okay,
I agree.
good, we're on the record with saying we saw it.
Yes.
Yeah. There, I already had a bunch of, compost.
I guess, given the way that parking lot looks, if you guys wanted to add a vegetative strip to that. On that one side,
Yeah, but I don't know if we can do that with the garage so close to the property line, right? It's within that, it's only like a foot and a half.
well, the garage is detached, so according to the table, it's supposed to be, if the garage was attached, it'd be, 7 feet, but since the garage is detached, it's only 4 feet. But it's still within that 4 feet, so I'm talking about, you look the way the driveway, if you look the way the driveway is
Yeah.
drawn,
Yeah.
I don't know whether there's 4 feet there. I don't know. Looks right up to the garage, I'm assuming.
Well, there's,
Yeah, that's what I'm
there's a
saying,
chain link fence there too. It's-
that's what I'm saying, can we actually do that when it's already this way, you know, I don't think you can.
Well, they're expanding on it, so you can. You can, I mean, they're expanding the use of the property. It's going from, 8-hour use to 24-hour use.
Yeah, the garden thing that I built, so.
I guess I'm looking at the driveway. It looks like it's right on the property line too. I didn't even notice that. So that's on me, so I would have added that vegetative strip.
Okay.
Maintain.
Yeah, we have a very small amount because the gravel's only gone onto the vegetative strip between them and Toma, so.
So that's one of the things that the county told the planning board to make a payment, so they agreed to it.
Okay. Yeah, so if they pave it and they restore the vegetative strip across that part.
They're, what, restore, that's paved right now.
Right, well, no, I'm talking on the Toma side, there's a very, very small little strip that doesn't have to look
There's a strip about this wide.
it doesn't have to really,
There's a strip between your.
You're gonna give them the vegetative strip, well, I would add it, you guys determine whether you're gonna give it to them, but the way I'm looking at it right now, the drawing I have from them about the parking area,
Mhm.
it goes right up to that, edge of the garage, which means it's gonna be a foot and an eighth off that property. So,
Right.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
And the only reason I say that is because of them using it as a term.
Right, if you look at this.
well, Toma?
No,
Well,
the kids.
what he's saying is,
Now,
that's on the
going out.
weekend already, Toma doesn't have anybody parked.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna depends on, they're not gonna cost.
Yeah.
That should not be. That should be.
Right.
Same on the other side, that looks even less.
Yeah, the other side looks like it's right up against. property. See, there's that, you can kind of see it a little bit better. See how it's just kind of dead. Right there. But it is, and there's an
Right, so
elevation,
that-
there's an
that-
elevation
That
change.
garage is about 2.
So nobody's in Belleville, I missed it.
No, we're looking at the, we're looking at the other side with the elevation, that little bit of an elevation change between Rich's lot at Toma and this one. Just want to make sure that little bit that's there, they restore the vegetative on that, because most of it's dead. But, yeah, on the other side, or are you talking about having them, if they're gonna repave, have them come in closer to the house?
No, it's the way it is. But they're only gonna repave the portion in the back that's not paved.
Right, the part that's currently under gravel, that's not paved, right? Okay. And,
That's why I said do the vegetative strip too, because that's right on the White's property, and I didn't know.
right, and if we had any problem on the Toma side, they would be here to speak on it, which they are not.
So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on just 11 spaces? That's fine.
It should not to exceed, if we put that in there.
Yeah.
I think 11 spaces is good there,
There's space for
it's,
The lot is actually huge, it's all the way up the hill.
that's the
Yeah,
one that goes
those-
way back.
and it actually borders another property in Paradigms off of Hill Street.
Yeah.
Comes off of Hill, and he's got probably 10 cars in there. And they seem to make it work. I mean, you know, he's a good landlord, he keeps his trash cans off the street for the most part. That's, you know, that's another thing that they'll do is, they're gonna need to be taking their cans off.
Well,
I mean, he's spending extra money to get these they're not polyurethane, I forget, but they're a special kind of material window.
Oh, yeah, he used them on his, what is it, Stevenson Street. Oh,
That looks like wood, but it's not.
yeah,
The historical commission is ecstatic because
yeah. He's also got them designed so if the kids keep the windows open for too long, it shuts off the heat to that room. So this way it doesn't lose any heat and,
Yeah,
he's a pretty smart guy.
okay, any other public discussion on this?
think,
Somebody wanna,
I'll move to close the public hearing.
let's try to roll thing. Who wants to second that?
I'll second.
I'll make those notes though, that you guys were talking about planning commission.
Okay, thanks, Frank. All those in favor, close the public hearing.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, okay. We'll get to, let me scroll to the prompt, to the questions. I'll be blank. I'm like, I can blank pages here. Everybody found them yet? I'm looking.
If you think about it this way too, it's not really, so that area,
They're there.
it's R4 zoning.
Yeah.
So theoretically, it could be a multiple dwelling. It's just using it as I mean, I know what you're saying about it. But it could be a multiple dwelling, so 11 people, it's not really over occupied based on the zone it's in. Besides being two.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Right, you could, if you wanted to put more units in there,
I just,
you would easily be allowed to put more units and more park.
I just look at Toma, and Toma is such a positive for our area there in terms of having a
He's spending a ton.
business professional, of professional employees there. And I had always hoped that that building would be something like Toma, but that's, it is what it is. And it can't,
He's spending a lot more money on this place than he has. He's putting in a sprinkler system.
I walk by it 5 days a week,
I mean,
I see it, yeah, he's.
And like I said, the historical commission, I mean, he had brought the materials up, they couldn't be more said. Place is gonna look nicer now when they're done than.
Yeah, he's actually, taking some of the historic woodwork and taking it off and then.
And it's
finishing it
it's a
inside.
sense of pride to that whole family overdoing everything.
Yeah.
It really is. They want, I mean, they want to be the example of. So when you're looking at the projects that they are involved in, they really do work hard at.
So I'm okay with like the existing garage encroaching on like the 4-foot vegetation strip, but not necessarily new parking.
So leave it at 14.
Like, yes, like any new parking.
I think the parking area that they're gonna do is closer to the gravelled area, closer to the wide building.
If you look at.
But it's okay just to say that, right? Like, no,
It's already there.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Gravel's already there.
right, just kind of.
All I'm saying is, it's already there.
So you're
The
saying,
gravel's already there, it's already.
Yeah.
The interpretation in the formula,
So not to, it's already there, so like, it doesn't get any smaller then, so not expand the existing.
yeah, I mean, it's already, if you look at where they're drawn in, it's already gravel or paved.
Yeah.
They're just gonna have to pave where the gravel is.
Right,
And it's not a part of the YMCA
but
building.
with it, if we just kind of approve it as written, then it doesn't, it just say, not expand, it just doesn't give them the right to put it to 6 inches, basically.
Right. And Roy's gonna make sure that they repair that one section of green that goes up the Toma side. It's not a lot, but it's looking like, what, 2.2 feet or so?
Yeah.
Ish.
But you still gotta do that vegetative strip.
Yeah, still gotta do the
Other
vegetation.
side is.
Exactly. Okay, we're gonna go through questions on this. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance. No. Whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance. No. Whether the requested area variance is substantial.
so, let's say 4 to 11. Yeah, that's kind of substantial.
I would say, I agree with Kyle. Yes. Unless anybody else has it. Okay. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions of the neighborhood or district. No. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the board, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the variance. I'd say yes, not there. They could leave it as a single commercial double apartments, but they're not, so. They have a different, at the end use. Hearing judge. Well, something really cool within the rules.
Oh, there's painting. Yeah, painting was contrasting gray shade there.
You read that vegetation strip today.
We already,
Yeah. They just had it, they're adding wheelchair access to it now. The YMCA side of that driveway, there's no usage between the building there, so it's like.
Good thing for the YMCA. They're half of the kids, so are physical education.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. They could get people to work there.
Be nice.
Lifeguards, just walk right over there back and forth.
Okay, so, what do you wanna do for the, yeah. Which, we pretty much, yeah, somebody could motion to have it as written, application as applied.
You said that this is up to planning to do, to talk about the numbers of cars. Or can we say, should we stipulate that?
The parking is you guys.
Yeah,
Parking is us,
so stipulated for.
Yeah.
Not to exceed spaces.
but they're saying still it's two family change of use and. It's, but we can't really. Rental units, where can we say no? We have to assume that. Not related. Also,
Yeah.
so can't, we're just approving usage of the existing.
All right.
Law.
and we're approving the number of parking spots they're asking for.
Yeah.
So it's usually says, I mean, I would say like the 7, have to get 11.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, yes, sure.
not to exceed 11 parking spots.
What are you saying with the vegetation strip, right?
Just gotta add, I didn't have it on.
Oh,
You gotta add the,
in and they're seeking a variance for
Yes,
this.
you have to
I see
have,
what
look
you're
at it, you're out, whoever caught it, good catch.
saying. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because there was one there. Because the existing paved driveway is right on that property. Well,
So we have to put forward the motion for what is written and with the addition of the variance on the vegetative strip.
Parking. Yeah.
Parking, yeah, specify it's gonna be 11, maximum 11 parking spots. And the variance for the lack of vegetative strip
on the side yard setback,
and the side yard
so
setback.
where the attached garage is less than 4 feet.
So we have.
Right, walk me through the details of the motion.
Okay, when you make motion, you put under me, it'll be, approved maximum parking of 11.
We get this.
Approved parking is a maximum of 11.
Yeah, we have,
Do we want to put a dimension on that side yard?
well, we're approving the side yard setback.
Yeah, dimension, what is it?
1.8 right now,
That's 1.8, yeah.
so you're approving that 1.8
We're approving the 1.8 foot setback
for the existing attached
Yep.
garage.
existing garage.
All right, so we've got a condition. I need to separate, I guess, what are
Yep.
conditions and what are we approving?
We're approving the maximum parking capacity to 11. From 4.4. We're approving the 1.8 foot side yard setback for the existing garage.
Hold on.
Yep.
Maximum parking of 11 spaces.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead.
So you got the garage side yard setback. Do you have that yet? And 1.8 foot. Prove that it's existing. And we're approving the lack of vegetative strip on the,
Both sides,
that would be the east side of the property, right?
both sides.
Both sides, yeah.
All right, so we're approving area variances
Parking.
to allow a maximum parking of 11 spaces, side yard setback, and lack of vegetative strips where
On both sides.
The only thing I would add Andy, is that side yard setback is for the existing detached garage, so someone can't.
side yard setback
So that second thing.
for the existing garage.
Yeah.
Detached.
Detached garage, yeah. And we don't know if they're gonna do that yet, because that has a whole deck on it, every time, no type stuff.
So if they add on to it, they have to come back.
Yeah, and they will, if they do.
Well, they'd have to get used. Because you can't have more than,
Yeah, two.
But also in the management system, any chance that they get for more garage storage is gold. Yeah, because they bought FX Let's building just for storage and they use it a lot, so they really need, because they do so much maintenance and stuff. Can we, who wants to second? Well, second, thanks, Rick. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Staying. You're quite late.
instructions.
Yeah. Step, I'll move along.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's putting a shed.
Yeah. But it's like, do we have any properties on Evergreen Wheeler that are conforming?
No, but again, this is the thing with we were just discussing, see, the reason why you're seeing so many more of these than you've seen in the past.
Yeah.
Is because the only way you're gonna get these properties in the conformity is to get area variances whenever there's an expansion.
Well, I think it's also happening because the banking laws have changed somewhat, but,
And our current zoning was written after these things were built.
well.
It's a prefab or just stick built.
The D doesn't say.
William Peck seeks to evoke area variance. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We got 3.
So is he putting it right where the old shed is? Does he probably? I think it might be prefab.
Okay.
So it's not floodplain, it's not historic, it's not, doesn't require.
Well, it's not GML enough, so this is an easy one.
Yeah, this is easy.
Yeah.
This is the only reason they're in front of us is because 9288 versus the 10,000 required.
Yeah, I don't think you would need the flood panels anyways, since it's less than 140
It's not
square feet, so
So
it wouldn't
it's
matter.
supposed to be 10,000 square feet, it's 9288. Front yard is only 11 feet, it's not 25. The existing shed is not 7 feet or 4 feet off the property line. The rear yard is not 25 feet.
So it's putting over patio.
Yeah, you change anything on these houses, you gotta get.
I have no questions.
I don't either. Anybody have any questions on this? This is just, this is procedural.
That's all it is, it's just.
Okay, I'm gonna motion to post public hearing. The second, give you a break.
1 second.
All in favor? Okay, there we go. Do we want to make the easy motion that's after I do these points? Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance. No. Whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance. Whether the requested area variance is substantial. No. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on physical and environmental conditions in the district or neighborhood. No. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the board, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance. Yes, you don't have to have a shed. So that is.
The side and rear yard setbacks are specific to the new shed, right?
Yep. Rear and side, so B and E are specific to the new shed, but we have multiples. Don't we have, we have to give area variance for everything,
Yeah.
even pre-existing, so.
When you word it, make sure you specify that the side and rear yards are for the new shed.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4 items. We have minimum lot size, minimum front yard, minimum side yard, and minimum rear yard. Minimum side yard and rear yard pertain to the new shed. Minimum lot size and front yard are pre-existing. I guess it's the old shed's pre-existing. Do we have to write that up? The old shed is pre-existing?
No, just, so they're putting the new one like in the corner where the old one is.
Yeah,
And it's going back into their property,
okay.
but the new one is in that 4 feet.
Right.
Or I mean, the old one is in that 4 feet, excuse me. So
Right.
just the new one's gonna fit in that corner where the old one is.
Yeah,
And then, so they're not encroaching encroaching on any more on where the old one is.
Right.
It's up into their property. Does that make sense?
Yes, it just means that's the item that is changing,
Yes.
but
So that's why I want to make sure that the side and rear yard setbacks are,
Staying the same.
well, they're gonna be the same, but they're still out of whack.
Right.
But it's for the new shed. Those two things are for the new shed. That way they can't put something on the other side, other corner of the lot. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That way it's just not a
Side
blanket
yards.
setback.
Side yards.
Right, but those are the ones that pertain to the new shed, but they're actually not changing, but we want to point those out because.
Right.
The lot size and the, front yard can't change because unless you push the house around a little.
Question.
Already hit the question. Right now, we're waiting for somebody to give me a motion because I motioned out for the day.
Oh. So you take a day off?
No, I think I've already done 4, right? My brain hurts. a little bit. Would somebody like to support the motion? Sounds like Tom.
I will move for, granting a bulk area variance, 34 Wheeler Avenue, specifically side and rear setbacks as it applies to new shed.
As opposed to the shed, yeah.
And,
I motion to approve, rear and side yard area variances for rear and side yard setbacks for the purpose of
new shed.
Do we need to approve the existing non-conforming
That's what it
separate?
says.
We still have to add the existing.
And
Gotta add the existing.
yeah, just like we did with the guy.
So your lot size and your minimum front yard.
Additionally, we are seeking, we are granting a variance for lots of non-conforming lot size and front yard,
Minimum front yard.
minimum front yard.
conforming what you're on.
Oh, non-conforming lot size and front yard setback,
Minimum front yard setback.
minimum front yard setback.
Then that will cover all. And that is it. Okay, and then, we just need somebody to second.
I did.
You did already? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 5-0. Unless there's something on the next page, we're moving on to the last one. We're already up to page 200, something on our notes here, so. Scrolling back to one, here we go. Item agenda number 9. Bulk area variance, 160 Madison Street. Casey Senek seeks a bulk area variance. Let me see. And this one. I got mismatching names.
It's Robin could
I
tell
was
us.
gonna say it's Robin's.
Yeah, just Rob, the property owner, and
Got a new deck and
Yeah. Side yard setback, front yard setback, 4-foot vegetative strip and lot size are non-conforming. This all looks pretty close to the last one. For existing non-conforming 8,875 square feet on the single family house, we have 22-foot setback on the front yard to the house.
so also nothing here. So the new deck isn't.
Doesn't do anything, does
Any
it?
of this stuff.
No, I was gonna say, because we don't have a variable on the new deck, so.
But you are expanding on the property, so you're still gonna.
Right. Yeah, so this
Yeah,
one
they have a
is,
great sketch of it too.
where are we at for sketch?
Starts at 311 up to 315.
Thank you. Well, they have an art student sketching, what's going on here? That's awesome.
That's Casey.
We got a 3D model. That's pretty cool, actually.
Casey knows what he's.
Can we turn other people away if they don't show up with a 3D model? We get the group, well, less 3D model.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is great. It doesn't touch any of the things that it's not conforming for.
I would just like to point out my drawing here.
It's not as nice as the 3D model.
I'd like to know who's dropping who's.
Wow. Yes,
Everyone's an art critic.
So like,
you actually look like you used a ruler. This is all free.
it's PDF,
That's cool.
PDF writer.
Gotcha. Okay, so, anybody have any questions on this one? This one's,
No, I think it's all.
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
there we go.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We can go through the numbers, but they really, it's kind of irrelevant because nothing is changing in those numbers. Nothing, the deck is in the middle. The only,
The only thing that's triggering it is the building of the deck, but then.
But it's still
variance.
yeah, it's still a variance, but the only thing that's actually triggering it is the fact that they're doing anything to the property. Yeah,
Again, any expansion is gonna get you.
yep.
There you
Yeah, like literally like as small as that guy making his deck bigger on Wheeler a few months back was
Yeah.
enough to trigger. That was it. So,
Yeah, it'd be hard to like make a rule of like what triggers it, and what doesn't trigger
go. Any expansion triggers.
yeah.
it. Right, but it's like if we wanted to like
Yeah.
make this easier, it'd be hard to like define a rule that doesn't. that makes
Well, the
sense.
whole point of it is to get these properties into conformity. Without, because you're never gonna, like, you're never gonna make more land,
Right.
you know?
So once we go through and we give it an area variance, it's now conforming. So if they want to do anything in the future,
Within reason.
Within
You know, if
reason.
you give it a, so you mean, like, I'm gonna use the other one previously,
right,
that shed,
right,
because you granted it
where it
a
is.
side setback, right? They can't go in the other corner and do it
Well,
again.
you're right.
So if they decided to like make this deck a little bit bigger next year, they wouldn't have to come back.
No,
We already
as
got.
long as it didn't encroach.
So a lot of these properties just don't have the.
Yeah,
Yeah, because everything on the yellow, everything that's now on the right, so what you're saying, Roy, is
unless
everything-
it encroached into some other. You know.
right, so, so the easiest way for me to equate this in my head and tell me if I'm wrong, this is everything you have in the right to yellow. When we approve this area variance, they become green. Because we've approved it. So the only thing that's gonna trigger at that point is gonna be something like bringing the total, lot coverage down or something like that.
Or moving that deck over more
Into-
into the side yard. setback.
Yeah, so
Or
it
move
would,
the driveway to the front yard.
it would change something that is in that right column,
Yeah.
which, okay, yeah. Okay, so here we go. Last set of questions. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance. So, whether this benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance. No. Whether the requested area variance is substantial. No. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. No. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the board, but shall not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance.
That's, they're building something that conforms, but because of our house was pre-existing.
Yeah.
So
So we're gonna say,
I think it's a yes.
I think we'll say yes. Okay,
All others know.
Yep.
Yes to the last.
Make a motion to approve as written.
I'll second.
And this is, we just again specify
Do we have to specify them?
the two side yard setback.
No, because it's not.
That's all we're.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. So, okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, staying, 500.
That's because the addition is not getting in there.
Yeah, that's the.
Okay, we have no old business, moving on to approval of minutes.
Yeah, my apology for getting those people today. I type the minutes as I go somehow. Computer didn't save what I typed, so I had to go watch the video.
Okay, but you got the recording, thank God for those.
That was fun.
Thanks for putting the work in.
Well.
And I was not here.
Okay.
I was in Albany.
Right, it is. No, that's just very.
I was on the pursuit of all vendors selling flavored vapes illegally. That's good.
With somebody with.
Well, I've got kids in my high school that won't use a bathroom all day long. They will not go into any of the bathrooms in my school for the vaping problem. Trying to figure out a way that did one way or the other. Taking the doors off the bathrooms.
I'm the,
They did that marathon too.
being that I'm the oldest person here, I can tell you that in my high school, we had a smoking area.
When Roy and I were at the high school, we had the pit.
You guys adjourned.
No, we're going over our minutes.
And we're just making.
I'm okay with the minutes. So
And I'm not reading the minutes, because I wasn't.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as is.
Thank you. Tom seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Opposed, abstained. We got 2 abstains on that one. Okay, this is the point at which Tom says,
No. we
Oh,
don't need to
I
adjourn.
move to adjourn,
yep,
the meeting of the.
We don't need to.
okay.
That's right.
We're done.